Hi everyone, this is Lisa from lisarts.com. Check out my website to see my artwork and find out when my classes are. Today I'm going to tell you how to transfer an image onto a piece of paper so that we can do a colored pencil drawing. If you haven't taken class with me before, this might be something new. I always encourage people to freehand draw. So here I have my tiger eye picture, and I am going to draw it freehand in pencil. That's a great way. It's erasable, and you can draw lightly so that you can color pencil later. If you are going to draw on a colored piece of paper, which I like to do, you can draw your outline in an erasable colored pencil. These are made by Prismacolor. They're called Col Erase, C-O-L dash and then erase. That's another great way to do it. But a lot of times we don't feel really confident about our drawing skills, and so we want to trace. A good way to trace, if you have a light board, is to trace right onto your paper with a light board. This works well if you are using a thinner paper, but thinner paper isn't always great for colored pencil, so this doesn't always work. However, you do want to make sure everything's always taped down. We have a way to get this onto thicker paper. If I would trace onto a tracing paper. Oops, let me make that straight. Sorry for the crinkling, and my cat is over there making noise at his bowl. So now you can trace right onto a tracing paper. Now I can see all the detail, every little area on the hairs and everything in the eye and where the highlight is. I can see all the beautiful detail and trace onto this tracing paper. If you don't have a light box, you could take this all and hang it up on a window. If you don't have a touch screen on your computer, you can even take tracing paper and directly trace the image from your computer screen. Don't do that if you have a touch screen. It's too delicate. I'm going rather quickly here, but I want to get the general gist of this and move on to a few other ways to trace. But you see how much detail I can get this way. I can really see everything. Now, sometimes you are lucky enough to have a line drawing already made for you. That's great, but that's what we're making with this. If you have the line drawing already, you can get some transfer paper. Transfer paper comes in a variety of ways. It comes with graphite underneath. Okay, sorry about that. Move the cat. All right. If you already have a line drawing, you can do a couple of things. One is that you could take your pencil and color in on the back. This is a great thing to do if you don't have transfer paper. Get a nice soft pencil, like a 2B, 3B, 4B, something like that. So you get lots of graphite on the back, and then tape this down so it doesn't move. I prefer to do the tracing on this side with a colored pencil. That way I know what I've already traced. And there's your picture. Can you see it? Probably not. But you can see my little cherry in there that I've drawn. You don't want it that dark anyhow. But now if you have transfer paper, and again, you want to take these drawings and tape them down so that nothing moves. This transfer paper is made of graphite. And again, I can trace my drawing with a red colored pencil so I know what it is that I have already drawn and what I haven't drawn, and trace over my drawing this way. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm just doing a portion of it. I always like to test, like do a little mark in the corner and make sure everything's going to come out right. The graphite works very well. I don't always like it for colored pencil because sometimes it's not quite as erasable as I'd like it to be. And then I have a black line in my picture. But tracing paper comes in all sorts of different colors. Graphite, white, this Sorrel paper. This pack actually had blue, yellow, red, and graphite all in this packet. So now you can take your tracing or even the actual picture and figure out which side has the white chalk that's going to go down. Now on here, I don't want to draw with a colored pencil because I don't want to mess up my photo. I print out my photos on regular light paper, not on photo paper, so that this can work. We use what's known as a stylus. It is a tool. One end has a tip like this, but you can get them on Amazon. That tip is for polymer clay sculpting. The other tip is for tracing. Like I said, press down in the corner, make sure you're using the right pressure, and then go ahead and trace everything in your picture using the same pressure. You can use other items too. Wide embroidery needles. Scratchboard tools, not that end, but if they're the wooden stick type or they have a smaller end, you could use that. And the little tiny crochet hooks, like the kind that come with the cap for highlighting your hair, those have a nice ball tip on the metal. And all of this works to transfer your image. Now for today, I am going to work on a brown paper because I love my brown tiger. You can work on a brown paper bag if you don't have great paper. You can work on construction paper. You can work on cardboard. You can work on cardstock. I happen to have a brown paper here that I like, and I am going to transfer. And for this one, you can use the graphite or the white. Like I said, I like the white one. And I'm going to use my stylus to transfer the whole image. Every little hair that I think is necessary. When you're doing a transfer, I would think, where does the color change? I want to have an outline that looks like, remember the old paint by numbers? So I know where to change my colors. So sometimes it's not, oh, it's an eye, but it's this part of the eye is yellow. This part is green or gray. This is black. This is another rim where it's going to be a darker black on the skin, and this part of the skin has a white highlight. Then outside the skin out here is where the hair starts. But I do see details in here that I will want to know exactly where they are because they're part of the tiger's eye anatomy. So just to review, you can trace your picture straight from the computer. Be careful with your screen. You can trace an image in a window if you have thinner paper, or you can use one of those methods to trace from tracing paper and then you can transfer the image using transfer paper, coloring on the back of an image with graphite. You can use a stylus or any not so sharp, sort of blunt sharp ballpoint. A ballpoint pen top with the top on would work. A ballpoint pen that doesn't have any ink in it would work. And then you want to trace anywhere where you see a color change in your image. So I'm not only just tracing the black stripes, but I'm tracing where it's going to go from brown to white. Some of the hair color changes. And if you are just tracing from a separate picture or a piece of tracing paper, you can use the red colorize. And you can practice your freehand drawing at any time. I always encourage it. So this is Lisa from LisaArts.com. Go to my website, see when the class is, and be all ready with your image transfer to your piece of paper.